Today's episode is going to be a Major League Baseball player. He's part of an interesting group of players that have played in 4 decades.
Whoa.
So he played in the 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s. That's a list of players that I think I'm going to probably use for baseball because it's an interesting list, and only about half of them are in the Hall of Fame. And this player is not one of them that's in the Hall of Fame, but he's borderline should be.
He should be.
So today's player is Bill Buckner.
Buckner.
Loveable losers hanging out in the living room. Loveable losers telling stories and maybe drinking. There's lovable losers.
Our topic today is William Joseph Buckner. Born December 14th, 1949 in Vallejo, California. California guy.
I am very familiar with Vallejo, California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went to high school in Napa.
Okay.
So you're also familiar with Napa. You worked in Napa.
Well, I lived in Napa,
yeah,
but I couldn't afford anything except for over in Vallejo.
Yep. So yeah, he grew up in Vallejo, went to high school at Napa. Standout baseball player.
That's why he got to go to Napa.
Yep.
For school.
Oh, that's one of those high schools that recruits players.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he definitely deserved that. He was outstanding baseball player that garnered the attention of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Hey.
So Buckner was signed with the Dodgers in high school. Like, he played college baseball too, I think. But he was a professional at 18 years old. He started with the Ogden Dodgers in 1968, and then in 1969, he had 4 stops all along the way.
Oh wow!
Including one stop at the very end in September in L.A.
Huh.
So he played in the Instructional League, Double-A, and then Double-A Ogden, and then Triple-A was the Spokane Indians.
He just kept moving up.
Mm-hmm. And then in 1969, he had 1 at bat. He was a September call up. Had 1 at bat. He pinch hit for a guy named Jim Brewer.
Not the comedian.
Not the comedian. Nope. It doesn't check out. But he had a pop up 0-for-1. But that was his appearance in the 1960s. He played Major League Baseball in the 1960s.
And at this time he's 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
18 or 19.
All right.
I think his career started when he was 17. But so however that checks out, So in 1970, he's called up to the main team, the Dodgers. But beginning of the year, he has struggles. He doesn't do well, and he's moved back to AAA to Spokane. But the 1970 Spokane Indians were regarded as like one of the best minor league baseball teams that have ever existed.
To this day.
Yeah, to this day. 94-52 was their record for the season.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Buckner appeared in 111 of their last games.
Okay.
And I found when I was looking up footage, I found this weird press conference.
You know what I'm saying?
with him.
When the doctor told me I had to
man.
I was gonna have to have a plate in my chin, I said,
It's
dog,
like,
did you realize I'll never make it on a plane now? It's bad enough I got all this jewelry on.
Why does it sound so weird?
Well, okay, so his jaw's wired shut.
Oh, well, that makes perfect sense then.
Yeah,
okay.
Right?
What a crazy way to do a press conference.
I know. It's like, why? Just ask one of the other guys. I mean, they had
vain.
Bobby Valentine, they had Steve Garvey, they had some, several other guys that had Major League Baseball careers, and the manager was Tommy Lasorda. So it's like, just have Lasorda do the press conference, Like, why would they have him do the press conference with his jaw wired shut like that,
Great
Weird.
soundbite.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
You could put it to music, I bet, and it'd be really good.
50 years ago, and it still sounds great.
I know. It's like, it's like, sounds like it's from more recent.
We should put music to it.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea. There was a copyright infringement.
Well. Looks like it is time for a commercial break. Loveable Losers is brought to you by Superfluous. Try Superfluous today to obliterate your thirst with an unimaginable amount of hydration. Superfluous. Delicious. Now back to Brian and Eric in the living room.
So the 70 season, outstanding season with the Indians, that earns him a call back up to the Dodgers.
All right, round 2.
Yep. So in 71, he's called back up to the Dodgers, and he never appears in the minor leagues ever again.
Hey,
He's a Major League Baseball player
for the rest of his career
until 1990, as we said before.
Golly. And that's so far away at this time. That's still 20-something years away.
Yeah. He still has 2 solid decades of productive baseball ahead of him. And so the first stop with the Dodgers, he stays with them from 69 to 76. 776 games, bats just under 300, has 38 home runs, 277 RBIs, and he's traded right after the 1976 season. He's traded over to the Chicago Cubs.
Oh.
Him and Ivan de Jesus were traded for Rick Monday and Mike Garman. So he moves over to the Cubs. And then I think a few years later, the Dodgers win the World Series.
Without him.
Yeah, without him. Rick Monday was a huge part of it. And then another guy, a part of this 40-year club, he was a pitcher on the Dodgers in that championship. I think it was 81. They won the championship.
Damn.
But he was over with the Cubs having some outstanding years.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So he had some wonderful years with the Cubs. When he first started there, he was moved from left field to first base because he had some ankle injuries.
Oh.
So 1976, his ankle injury started.
Damn.
So
He still goes
half his
another
career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another 14 years.
Right? How crazy is that? That
With a
you have
shoddy ankle.
yeah, like and that's something that you need as a baseball player.
Well, but
No doubt.
not as much at first base compared to every other position.
That's
Well, maybe
exactly
pitcher.
why they moved him over to first, so that he could have a nice long career. I
And he
guess.
still bat.
Yep, batting champion. He won the batting. He was
That's it.
batting champion in 1980 for the Cubs.
Oh, I tell people I remember that day.
Yep. Just a few years before you were born.
Just a few years, but
I
man, it's
remember
clear.
it like it was yesterday. So yeah, he played 8 years with the Dodgers to begin his career, and he plays 8 years with the Cubs as well.
Okay.
He plays a few more games, 200 more games with the Cubs than he did with the Dodgers.
Oh, but in the same 8 years,
Because he was a full-time starter, probably for the Cubs.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of the stars of the team, and with the Dodgers, he was an up-and-coming player for a few of those years. at
But
least.
then, okay, these next, 6 years he's got left in his career. Where does he go back to the Dodgers?
Well, after the Cubs, he is traded in the middle of the season to the Boston Red Sox.
This is when? Where? Are we at?
1984.
Okay.
Middle of the 1984 season, he's moved over to the Red Sox. Dennis Eckersley is involved in that trade.
Ooh.
He's a guy from the 80s with the athletics that has like a cool mustache. He was famous for having a sweet stash, if you could see.
I call it a porn stash.
Oh yeah,
Oh, no, that's like
majestic.
his favorite way of murdering people is tying them to train tracks.
Don't look directly at me. Yeah, I didn't know that Dennis Eckersley played for the Cubs. He all the years that I knew him were athletics with Oakland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but so we got Buckner over here with the Red Sox, already 15 years into his career when he moves over to him, and then he has, so in '86 this team is really good. They go to the World Series, and
Nice.
They have
Sox
a
in
great
86.
World Series. They're up 3-2, going into Game 6. They got this thing locked up. They're just kind of, finishing the game. They had a lead.
I can't wait for this clip.
and then we got the Mets. We go. This game goes into overtime. This game goes into 10 innings, and it's a nail biter. It's a great game.
You've seen me watch games like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got 10th inning. The Boston Red Sox scored a go-ahead run in the top of the 10th inning, so they're up, and the Mets are up now, and we got Mookie Wilson with runners on first and third.
For the Red Sox.
Yep, he's for the Mets.
Oh, okay.
This is the bottom of the 10th inning.
Mookie. Okay.
First and third, and you're down by one. So this situation is different. Mookie, he's got the pressure of the world on him.
The heat is on.
Yeah. So he's just picturing this image of him losing the World Series because it would be the Boston Red Sox winning the World Series for the first time in almost 100 years, you know.
Oh, man. 1986.
Yep. So the pressure of the world's on him, and then he just keeps fouling off balls over and over again, and then 3-1, or no, 2-2 after a couple fouls off, you know, wild pitch right down, you know, Mookie jumps out of the way, wild pitch, guy comes in, scores from third, and so now we got a guy in scoring position on second.
So now we're tied.
Game's tied, and now pressure's off your shoulders. And now Mookie starts hacking, you know. He fouls off 3 more.
More fouls.
Yeah. And then the final one that he finally gets into play is this weak little ground ball. Just tink, tink, tink down the first baseline. Buckner is in perfect position to get it. And it just kind of tink right past his glove.
Ooh, no, that's
right into right field.
Show that again.
Yeah. All right, let's go back from the beginning. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so Mookie hits the ground ball, and it's just right down first baseline. Buckner, I mean, he shuffles over into place.
He's there.
Yeah,
no, he's there.
He's in position. He's ready. And it just bounces weird, you know. Like, and so there's nothing you can do about that. He did
Buckner
everything he
luck.
could, you know, right?
That's Buckner luck.
Yeah. So that ends. That's game 6 that ends.
Okay.
Now we're
so it ties up the series.
3-3 tie. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's not as bad as losing the whole series.
Yep. So they still had a chance to finish it in 7. They had a 3-0 lead in game 7, and then they ended up blowing it, losing game 7.
I've seen that so many times, but not because of a scoop mishap like that.
I know. Yeah. Like, so I mean, and then immediately after the game, there's a talk with Buckner in his locker room, and he's like, yeah, you know, it was this routine ground ball. It bounced weird. You know, it is what it is. That's what happens. You know,
it is what it is.
We still got another game to play.
Yeah,
we can still win this championship.
I'm not. Were you expecting me to cry?
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'm not done.
So yeah, it was just
that's legendary Buckner right there, though.
One moment, and think about it in the course of that game. You know, it was hours.
This is 18 years after he started.
Yeah. And so his entire career, if you look at it over the span of his career, that one little 10-second moment, so insignificant. Right?
Loveable Losers is also brought to you by Manzies. This man is the one. This onesie is the man. Manzies. Remains tucked in. Manzies, the #1 way to stay tucked in all day. Manzies. Now back to Eric and Brian.
So after this, he played another year in Boston, and then he played a season and a half in California with the Angels, and he played 2 years with the Kansas City Royals. So that gets him from 87 to 89. Okay. And then in 1990, he signs a free agent contract to come back to Boston. So opening game of 1990, or the opening home game of 1990, he has this curtain call.
So it was Boston he returned to. It wasn't. I kept thinking he was going to go back to the Dodgers, but he never.
Or the Cubs, yeah.
He never went back to them.
But yeah, he came back to Boston for 1990.
Okay.
And you know, they gave him a hero's welcome. You know, thank you, you know, for playing here. It was 5 years. I mean, he played 5 years.
He gave
total.
them a lot of wins to hold him that one missed scoop.
He was the veteran leader of a team that went to the World Series and got that close to winning it. You know, so. So he deserved the respect that they gave him in that moment in 1990.
Buckner.
Right? But then after his career, there was like this big media thing about it all being his fault. You know, the whole
he was the scapegoat.
The curse of the Bambino was extended because of his play. He was scapegoated as the the Boston Red Sox reason for the curse of the Bambino
the
continuing.
the Bambino reverse curse.
Yeah. But he also played for the Cubs, and they have the curse of the Billy Goat, and he played 8 years with them, and
so he just had people could easily say he had bad juju.
yeah, maybe I guess,
And so he was scapegoated.
Easy to scapegoat because probably a lot of it was his attitude about things too. He didn't think it was that big of a deal.
He didn't cry at a loss
because it wasn't.
Yeah, it's a game. They're games, right? We're playing games, right?
It was a 22-year career, and this was 15 seconds of it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Unless he went in there like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I would be upset with
Okay.
that. But if you lose and you go, I don't care, I lost.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. But going into the game, and he's like, are you ready to play tonight? And he's like, I don't care. I wouldn't like that.
No,
I wouldn't like that guy.
Very interesting side note about this that I did not know until I was looking at this.
Hey, research. Unlock.
In this World Series, they're up 3-2. Those 3 games, they put a defensive replacement in for him at first base.
Huh.
So there's like scuttlebutt. Like the rumor is that they kept him in so that he would be on the field to celebrate.
Oh yeah.
And it would just.
But he wasn't even
spectacularly
batting,
blew up their face. No. Well, he played the whole game.
Oh, okay.
They just normally pull him out in the 9th inning.
Ah, right.
And have this other guy come in and play defense.
Yeah.
But in this game, they decided not to do that for whatever reason, But the hypothesis is that it was so that he could celebrate on the field as a 15-year veteran, celebrating with his team. He had a big part of it,
Well, I've done my own little side research, and it turns out there was some assistants on both teams that were friends and would drink at a bar together. And one was telling him that this is going to be the game they want him to celebrate. And the other guy said, well, we'll throw it in the end, so keep him till the end, knowing that he'd be tired because he normally got pulled out before that. So it was sabotage.
Wow. Sabo-takey.
Senile raconteur. Never happened.
That story wasn't true either?
Nope.
Crazy. Bill Buckner,
the man.
22-year should be Hall of Fame career. Probably eventually will be the Hall of Fame career
After this episode.
Yeah, 2,715 hits, almost 500 doubles, 174 home runs, 49 triples. Almost the 300 hitter for his whole career, 298 average.
So close.
Yep, 1,200 RBIs, and his fielding percentage was .991. So almost a perfect fielding percentage as well. So
which is a palindrome to when his career ended.
Yeah,
991, 1990.
Yeah, that's crazy. So in the 1990 season, he hit his final home run.
How many?
Was his only home run of that season. He hit 1 home run. Not a great season, but that was his only inside the park home run of his entire career.
Huh.
Was his final
22
home run
years
of his entire career.
Other than that, they were always out of the park.
Yeah, every single other one was out of the park, but his last home run of his entire career in 1990 was an inside the park home run.
Well, you check off the boxes.
Yeah.
Loveable losers hanging